evening. You listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Today is the 19th of October 2022, which is equivalent to the 23rd of Rabiul Awwal 1444 after Hijri. And now the news in full. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the Nigeria Startup Bill into law. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantani, announced this today after a meeting with the President at Asu Villa in Abuja. He disclosed that the Startup Bill passed on July 20th, 2022, was initiated by the executive arm and seeks to create an enabling environment for tech-based startups in Nigeria. Pantani further revealed that the law, which holds huge benefits for the Nigerian economy, adopted an approach to allow startups to identify business challenges and sort them out. Based on the previous provisions of the law, the federal government plans to set up a 10 billion naira fund of startups in the country. The information and communication technology sector has so far contributed 18.40% in 2022. The Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, RULAC, said it is working to strengthen the application of law and curbing corruption. The National Program Manager at RULAC, Naladi Palang, stated this today at a two-day program here in Kano. He said the program, which started in 2017, was founded by the European Union and is working at the federal level and in 5 focal states, which are Adamawa, Anambra, Edo, Kano, and Lagos states.
Do not do that, it can lead to depression. So what the SACs have been providing over the past few years that we have been working is to provide support for those who come into the center. And like you have heard, we have also seen a rise in men that have also been.
The program's objective is to reform the criminal justice system, ensuring women and children and people with disability have access to justice and also improve the performance of anti-corruption agencies and how they work together. In a remark, Kano State Chief Judge Justice Nura Segel Omar highlights RULAC's achievements.
And through them, we would not have passed that administration criminal justice law without their support. They also finance the making available all the booklets, the copies, to pass the magistrate court law 2000 and has given our magistrates more jurisdiction to try cases.
A beneficiary of RULAC program, Ambassador Ibrahim Wanga, the president of the Kano Civil Society Forum, said the intervention of RULAC has created much awareness.
Intervention, as far as the project is concerned, is on how to create awareness of the public on the new ACJ, that is Administration of Criminal Justice Law.
Correspondent Bara'atu Idris Gankura reports that stakeholders of the judiciary were in attendance. The Kano State government has distributed cleaning supplies in the state. Kano State Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Kabiru Ibrahim Gizu, distributed the street cleaning materials to street sweepers today at the Refuse Management and Sanitation Board Renisab office. The commissioner said they distributed the goods worth more than 5 million naira to the sweepers in order to aid them in their duties.
These are the items that we are providing today. These are items worth more than 5 million naira that we are distributing today. And apart from this, we also, as part of this initiative, we also repaired some of our buckets. We have some big buckets. We have some vehicles that we call skid loaders. You can see some of them there that lift these big buckets. These big buckets, they are for community collection of waste.
Dr. Ibrahim Gizu further added that the state is about to rid itself of environmental problems, considering the way the government is paying special attention to the environment. And the sporting arena, president of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF Ibrahim Musa Gusau, has expressed optimism that Nigeria's under-17 women's team, the Flamingos, are motivated to beat their United States of America counterparts when they clash in the quarterfinal of the ongoing FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup on Friday in India. Mohamed Oba has details of this and other sports updates.
The president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Ibrahim Musa Gusau, stated that the Flamingos will give it their best shot and get the result that will fetch them a semi-final ticket, adding that the spirit is high in their cup in Goa, and all things being equal, can go all the way to win the trophy. On the roster of Nigerian clubs from CAF Champions League and the Confederation Cup, the NFF boss expressed disappointment at the way all clubs exited the continent, stressing that the NFF met with the 20 clubs in the Nigeria Professional Football League and they are working to put a stop to Nigerian clubs' poor showing in Africa. Meanwhile, all clubs in the Nigeria Professional Football League have proposed playing an abridged league for the 2022-2023 season of the Nigeria Thai League due to time constraint and the need to have a uniform football calendar with the European leagues. The proposal outlines some of the issues not on the table before the Nigeria Football Federation President Ibrahim Musa Gusau on Monday after a closed-door meeting at the Sunday Ankara Football House, Abuja. Officials of NPFL clubs disclosed that the proposal for the abridged league will be forwarded to the interim management committee for consideration as soon as the committee is inaugurated by the NFL president, with the league to be divided into 2 groups of 10 teams each. In another update, Real Madrid will pay out €1 million to Lyon due to a clause in Karim Benzema's contract after the striker won this year's Ballon d'Or award on Monday evening. A clause agreed between the clubs when Benzema moved to Spanish capital from Lyon in 2009 means that Real Madrid will have to pay €1 million to Ligue 1 clubs, as that was the add-on included for winning the Ballon d'Or crown. And on tennis, British number 2 Dan Evans reached the quarterfinal of the European Open by winning against Frenchman Constant Lestienne 6-2, 6-1. Mohamed Sanuba, Freedom Radio.
The Global News is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com, or call us through this number 082 444163. Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. Barely 3 weeks after signing the peace accord, the Independent and National Electoral Commission has expressed concerns over the spate of violence at the ongoing campaigns. Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu raised concerns about the training of master trainers on technology for the 2023 general elections in Abuja. The commissioner also said it would summon leaders of political parties next week over the resort to violence. This is coming barely 24 hours after the PDP campaign was attacked by suspected thugs in Kaduna State. Describing the development as well, some chairman cautioned parties and their supporters to focus on issues and steer clear of attacks on each other. On history, on this day, 19th October 1986, Dele Giwa, a Nigerian journalist, editor and founder of Newswatch magazine, was killed by a parcel bomb in his home at Ikeja, Lagos, while in his study with Kayode Shoyinka. Habiba Sabo Abubakar has more on this.
Sumonu Oladele Benz Giwa was born on March 16, 1947 to a family working in the palace of Oba Adeshoji Aderemi, the Oni of Ife. He attended local authority modern school in Lajere, Ile-Ife. Dele Giwa traveled to the United States of America for his higher education, earning a BA in English from Berkeley College in 1977 and enrolled for a graduate program at Fordham University. He worked for the New York Times as a news assistant for 4 years, after which he relocated to Nigeria to work with Daily Times. Dele Giwa and fellow journalists Ray Ekfu, Dan Agbesi, and Yakubu Muhammad founded Newswatch in 1984, and the first edition was distributed on January 28, 1985. Dele Giwa was killed by a fossil bomb in his home at Ikeja, Lagos. The assassination occurred 2 days after he had been interviewed by State Security Service (SSS) officials In an off-the-record interview with Airport journalist Lieutenant Colonel A.K. Togum, the Deputy Director of the SSS, had claimed that on October 9th, Delegiwa and Alex Ibru had organized a media valet for media executives and the newly created SSS. On October 20th, the day after the bombing, the government convened a press conference presided by Augustus Aikomu. 9 months after Yua's death, the police said all their leads had been exhausted and that they could not find any suspect. Years later, his death is still remembered by many. Habib Saba Abubakar, Freedom Radio.
And on business, we have Abdraman Adubaba with updates.
The federal government says 3.36 trillion has been allocated for the fuel subsidy in 2023 as Nigeria's debt profile hits $102 billion. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, who made this known today in Abuja, also said the 2023 budget proposal has a budget deficit of 10.78 trillion naira. She said this will be funded through domestic and multilateral borrowing and proceed from privatization. According to her, of Nigeria's $102 billion debt, 35% is foreign and 65% is domestic, adding that the current public debt is at 23% of the country's gross domestic product. The minister also said the 2023 budget also factored in 17.16% inflation. Meanwhile, the federal government said the decision of Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, to cut Nigeria's crude oil production downward by 2 million barrels per day was unanimous. Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Tinife Silva, in a statement on Tuesday said the decision was taken by OPEC and its partners at their last meeting at the beginning of October. He explained that the decision was taken for the exclusive purpose of ensuring long-term stability of the oil market and to balance supply and demand. Abdurrahman Adubaba, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, Zimbabwe has become the first country in Africa to approve a long-acting injectable drug that prevents HIV transmission, Zazana reports.
The first 2 injections of cabotegravir, CABLA, administered 4 weeks apart, followed by an injection every 8 weeks. The drug has received regulatory approval in 2 other countries, the United States and Australia. Zimbabwe will begin rolling out the drug after regulators approved its use. The authorities say it will provide a crucial layer of protection for risk groups. Large-scale studies of the drug showed 7 to 9% reduction in HIV risk compared with oral pre-exposure prophylaxis. Large-scale studies of the drug showed 7 to 9% reduction in HIV risk compared with oral pre-exposure prophylaxis, according to the World Health Organization. Meanwhile, authorities in Saudi Arabia have released Mohammed Al-Khudri, an 83-year-old senior Hamas official, after more than 3 years in detention. Izzat al-Rashik, a member of the Hamas Political Bureau, said in a statement that Al-Khudri was on board a plane heading to Jordan. There was no immediate comment from Saudi officials. Sarazana, Freedom Radio.
And with this, we've come to the end of today's Global News. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Have a wonderful evening.